Hi friends, welcome to our channel Pragya Bhumi. Before viewing this video, if you have any doubts regarding the topics Great Revolt of 1857 or about the formation of Indian National Congress or about what happened in India till 1909, you can click on the link given in the description below. So, in this video, we'll discuss about what happened after the First World War broke out. What happened to Indians after the First World War broke out, and about the Home Rule League, how it formed, and about the Lucknow Pact that was signed in 1916, and about four things which happened in 1919, that is the Montague-Chelmsford Reforms Act, Rowlatt Act of 1919, the most saddening thing, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, and about the Khilafat movement. Come on friends, let's get into the very interesting video. Before discussing about the exact topic, first we have to know about the First World War that happened from 1914 to 1918. At that time when First World War happened, as we all know, like countries like Britain, France and Russia, they were all on one side. And the Britain was against the Germany people. So what happened was, as India was under the British Empire at that point of time, so the British people wanted Indian troops to fight against Germany. And the Congress leaders also agreed that okay, we'll send our Indian troops, but in what will you give in return, so that we will be very confident in sending our Indian troops. And what the British people promised to Indians were that at the end of the war you will be having a self government, that is Indian people will be given a place in ruling the government. So the Congress people also like agreed, and they sent the troops for that war in support of British people. But what happened was, these British people, they did not commit to their goals. They told one thing in the start of the war, and after the Indian troops fought and came back, they did not stay committed to their goals. So this was really a very major throwback to all the Congress leaders, and they wanted to start a mass movement to pressurize the British government to give a self government in favor of Indians. At least as a reward, the Indians people should get right. So the Congress people demanded that. But what happened at that point of time was an unfortunate thing happened. Like the moderate leaders, Feroz Shah Mehta and Gokhale, the two main leaders, they both died in 1915. So there was a need for another movement or another league to stay against the British. At this point emerged uh, a league called as Home Rule League. So it was started by Bala Gangadhar Tilak in 1916 in Mumbai. And after this, Annie Besant, we all know Annie Besant, right? She started the same Home Rule League in Chennai, Madras. At that point of time, it was called as Madras. So she created that. So what happened was, Annie Besant, she was like very inspiring, and these like Congress and Home Rule League both like run without the support of each other. Both run very separately. Home Rule League was running separately and Congress was running separately. So both the leagues worked independently. These Home Rule leagues, they were utilized to carry like extensive propaganda through press speeches, public meetings, lectures, discussions, all those things. So this Home Rule League mainly focused in bringing in many young Indian people into the movement. So the main objective of this Home Rule movement was, what Annie Besant told was, that was actually very nice wordings you can see, like I have mentioned here, right? Indians should demand self-government. not based on the loyalty they had for British government or as a reward for the participation in the First World War. I mentioned right, the Indian troops were the part of the British in war. So not as a reward for that. But Indians should have they should have as a right based on the principle of national self-determination. That is the Indian people by themselves they want freedom or independence, they want to have a government for them. So it is a basic right of every Indian to have that. And that was the very greatest saying of Annie Besant, being she being an Irish lady. So it was a very nice saying, and many leaders like Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, all of them supported the movement led by Annie Besant. At this time, at 1916, Lucknow Pact happened. This was the Lucknow session of the Indian National Congress that took place in 1916. At this point of time, the moderates and extremists, they separated in Surat split, right, 1907. So in this 1916 Lucknow session, the both the groups joined together. So the Indian National Congress is back again with its original strength, right? So this was a very good joining. And next, what the main thing happened was the Congress and the Muslim people, they both, the Muslim League, right, already formed with Muslim leader, they both signed a pact agreeing to cooperate with each other. So the Congress and Muslim, both are now in together, and they both are agreeing to achieve a self-government very soon. So this was also a very good thing that happened to India at this point of time. And main particularly at this Lucknow session only, Nehru met Gandhi for the first time. This is for your just for your information. So this Lucknow Pact, it's a two very good things happen, like the moderates and extremists joined together, and the Congress and Muslim people, they both came together in order to achieve a self-government. So based on the request of Indian people to have a self-government, August Declaration was made. On 20th August 1917, this declaration was passed by a person named Edwin Montagu. At that time, he was the Secretary of State for India. So this declaration stated that increased participation of Indians in governing their own states. So this was a very promising thing for Indians, and hence the home rule movement was slowly withdrawn since this was given to the Indians. And following this, a very important thing happened. Edwin Montagu, along with a person called Lord Chelmsford, he was the Governor General of India at that point of time. They both jointly passed the act named as Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms Act, that's also called as Government of India Act 1919. Remember friends, 1919. So this year is very important, Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms Act. This act was a very major thing, and it had like many provisions. This was also like a very eye-washing thing for Indian people. So the provisions we'll discuss below. So first thing is, it introduced diarchy. Diarchy, which means like to have two rule. That is the executive councillors along with the ministers. Executive councillors, like the head will be the governor. So, and basically there will be like two lists. One is reserved list, that is the executive councillors along with the governor, they will be taking care of the reserved list of items, that is finance, law and order, all those things. But whereas the ministers on other sides, they will be taking care of the transferred list of items, that is about the education, health, all those things. So it was like two rule in a country taking place, diarchy. Very important friends, diarchy in the provinces was introduced, and also the legislature at the center and the provinces were expanded so that like more Indians can be accommodated inside. But unfortunately, only like communal votes were encouraged very much, like also racial and religious lines were very much followed, like Sikh people, Anglo-Indian peoples and Europeans, they were given separate place and they were having like own separate representatives. So, and also one more thing was bicameral legislature was there. That is in today we called as Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, right? So that was there. One thing that was noted was franchisee was very much limited and narrow. That is only a few set of people were allowed to cast their vote. So this was totally unfair, right? And obviously the Congress leaders, they were all against this Reforms Act and they started to revolt against it. And also like Annie Besant, she made again a very great saying that this is ungenerous for England to offer and unworthy for India to accept. Ungenerous, right? Because Indian people like participated inside of England and they Indian people also fought along the British side, right? But they were not generous in offering a reward to Indian people. And also, if India accepts this, it's totally unworthy because India wanted a self government totally for them, not a diarchy, right? So, this was also again a very great saying made by Annie Besant. So, post this, what happened was like totally the people were against the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms Act, and that led to British in coming up with the next act called as Rowlatt Act. This was a this was a most horrifying act. It was more called as Black Act by Gandhi because what happened was the people who like protested against this act, they were made to arrest without any warrant or imprisoned without any trial. This is totally saddening. So Gandhiji called it as a Black Act. So this was passed in the year 1919. And what happened was to protest against this act, nationwide satyagraha was made on 6th April 1919 with fasting and prayer. So totally it was a non-violent struggle. The protest, like anti-Rowlatt protest, was very intense in Punjab, like mainly in Amritsar and Lahore. So Gandhiji, when he was about to reach Punjab, he got arrested. So what happened was totally the protests were going in almost like every places of the country. It was going in a very intense manner. At that time, a very saddening thing happened. On 9th April 1990, two prominent leaders of Punjab, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, both of them were in this protest and they were arrested on 9th April 1919. So due to these two people got arrested, there were like many Indian people protesting against this. Around some 10,000, more than 10,000 people were there in a place called as Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar. Take note of this, friends. Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar. More than 10,000 people had gathered and they were protesting against it. At that point of time, a very saddening thing happened. A brutal thing happened, actually, we can say, because a person called as General Dyer, we all know General Reginald Dyer. He was the military commander of Amritsar. So what he did was he ordered the troops to shoot the crowd without giving any warning, and also the place was like totally closed, like no one can escape from that place. So in this it was like total tragedy because the many people were killed and hundreds and hundreds of people were wounded very much. So it was a very brutal thing. It was the greatest atrocity that happened at that point of time. Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. At this time, a law was also imposed called as martial law. So this was a very important and saddening thing that happened in the Indian history, friends. Jallianwala Bagh tragedy of 1919. So post this, all these things happened, right? This Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, Rowlatt Act, everything horrified the Indians very much. Very much. The Indians were like, they feared so much. And post this in the same year, another movement also happened. That is called as Khilafat movement. So, as we all know, like First World War came to an end at 1918, right? 1914 it started, and 1918 it came to an end. So, the the Britain actually won, and the Germany along with Turkey was defeated. So Turkey, one part of Turkey was under the British people control. So at that point of time, the head of the Muslims, the religious head of Muslims, he was called as Turkish Caliph. So that particular person, he was under the British control and he was humiliated so much. So the Muslims in India, they totally protested against the British regarding this. And based upon this mass movement, like the Khilafat movement, was formed by Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. They both organized and they both formed this movement against the British people. So note here friends, the Muslim people of India were against the British in this particular point of time, since their religious head called as Turkish Caliph was so much humiliated. So this was a very turning point where Gandhiji saw it as an opportunity for Hindu-Muslim unity, because the ultimate aim of British people was to bring disunity among the people of India. But at this point of time, like situations turned in favor of India, and it was an opportunity for Hindu-Muslim unity. So these all things happened in 1919. The timeline for Freedom Movement Phase 1 will be shared very soon. Once it is shared, we'll upload the link in the description. Enjoyed the video? Give a thumbs up. For any doubts or suggestions, comment below. Finding it useful? Share it with your friends. For further videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon. Bye. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.